Good evening, and welcome to the Sanctum. My name is Chris Kelvin, and this is Orbs Are Bullshit, Paranormal Fact from Fiction. Why do I call it Orbs Are Bullshit? Well, because orbs are bullshit. It is the easiest, most fish-in-a-barrel evidence you can find. We're going to explain why in just a second, and we're going to talk about the ground rules of this program and how you are involved and how I want to make this a back and forth discussion about the realities of the paranormal, ghost hunting, UFOs, poltergeists, things of that nature. So we'll talk more about that after this. And we're back. Okay, I have been doing this type of thing, paranormal investigation, for, I don't know, since I was about 12 or 13 years old, and that puts it at a good 40 years. Okay, so I kind of know some ins and outs. I also know how easy it is to fake things. I also know how hard it is to trust things. So we're going to go over a few ground rules as to how we look at the paranormal through the eyes of science. That's right, science. Because the only way you're going to prove something exists is by controlled experimentation and science. Okay, the name of the show, Orbs Are Bullshit. You know why? Because they are, really. Think about it from a rational, just intelligent point of view. How come everybody and his brother can stick up a camera in the dark and get orbs? Why? Because they're always there. They are anomalies of light. It's light reflecting back off of particles of dust or moisture or bugs. It doesn't matter. There is a thing called ghost lights. Now, ghost lights are a different matter. Ghost lights are a luminous object that you can see with your eyes, and they move with intelligence. They have an internal energy. The light comes from within. It's not bouncing off. What you're seeing is dust, okay? Now, people are saying, well, it was a still room. There was no wind. There was no... No! Don't be fooled. Orbs are bullshit. It's dust. Let me explain why. You know why orbs are bullshit? Because science. All right, here we go. 2 words. Brownian motion. Okay? Even the smallest movement in a still room, and that means you, can create currents of air, movements, eddies that lift dust off the ground and put it in the way of your infrared illuminator and your infrared camera. Making what? Reflections. The reflections become what? Orbs. Orbs of bullshit. Okay? Ghost lights are a phenomenon. Orbs are bullshit. It's just that simple. You don't think, even if you moved into a still room, no windows, 1 door, interior, even if you did that and then stood perfectly stock still, you're still going to create air currents. Do you know why? Because you, my friend, as long as you are still alive, are warmer than the surrounding air. And one heat source and one source of cold air creates convection. Convection creates movement. Movement creates dust. Dust creates orbs. Orbs are bullshit. Okay, are we done? Don't bring me orbs. I don't want to know from orbs. I will look at every ghost light you can find. But don't talk to me about orbs. Orbs are easy shooting fish in a barrel evidence. orbs anyone can get. That's all there is to it. And when you take that film or those digital photographs to a lab and have them checked out, and they are actually there on the image, you know why? Because they're actually there on the image, because they're a real thing in the photograph. Don't be fooled. Don't be silly. Use your common sense. Use your mind. Think things through. One of my biggest pet peeves with paranormal investigation are the investigators who will go into a house or a building or whatever, and it's dark, and they're walking around, and something happens, and they run like somebody bit them on the ass, right? If you are there to investigate, don't be running away. You can be worried, you can be nervous, you can be afraid. It's something that's unusual going on. But don't run. It's what you're there to see. Right? Ghost Adventures, that dumbass TV show with the bar bouncers. Yeah, that's all they ever did. Dude, there's a ghost. Something just touched me. Oh my God. It's cold right here, right here. Don't freak out. Be scientific and systematic. Oy. One of the things that really gets on my nerves, on my last raw nerve, is people who will go into a house to investigate, and while they're trying to be observing, do nothing but talk to each other. People trying to do EVP sessions do nothing but talk over each other. Right? When you do an EVP session, you need to ask a question and stand still and be quiet. This is just like the interaction you have with another person. You ask another person a question, it's because you want to hear the answer, right? If you're talking over them or talking to someone else while the answer's coming in, you're not going to hear it, or you're not going to hear it clearly. So be professional. That's important. It's fundamental to the whole situation. You know, this all starts out for most people, like it did for me when I was a teenager, right? Going to graveyards, bringing cameras and tape recorders and things like that. Well, when you're a teenager, you're hyped up. You don't have your focus going yet. Okay? So every little twig snap, every little movement, there's a bat flies by, everybody freaks out and screams. Right? You're not getting anything there. You're not learning anything there. Okay? And also, going to cemeteries, right? It is the idea of a haunted cemetery is one of the rarest things there are. Why? Because the energy left behind by a dead human being is going to be left behind in the place that they died, or in a place where something traumatic or major happened to them. That's not the cemetery. The cemetery, you're already long gone from that piece of meat bag that's being stuck in a box and stuck in the ground. A haunted cemetery is a very rare thing, and most of the stories that surround cemeteries, like most of the ghostly hitchhiker stories, they're just parables. They're stories concocted by parents to make sure that their children are afraid to be walking the roads alone at night. Use your loaf. That's all I'm asking. All right, so going on from there, one of the other things that really bothers me about the way the paranormal is investigated is bringing religion into it rather than pure science, right? Your religion, look, as Mark Maron says, I'm not here to mock the myths that define you. Your religion is your own business, all right? Do it, enjoy it, take pleasure from it, take pride in it, use your faith, understandable. But when you look at the paranormal from a religious aspect rather than a scientific aspect, then everything has a different meaning. Look at the Warrens, right? The Warrens, they brought forth some of the most interesting cases on the records. The Amityville Horror, the Annabelle doll. But everything to the Warrens was always a demon. You know what? Not everything is a demon. As a matter of fact, we'll find out in the course of further shows, nothing's really a demon. That there are different reasons for different kinds of phenomena. Right? And we will go through all of them. We'll go through residual hauntings. We'll go through active hauntings. We'll go through poltergeists. We'll go through what passes for demons. We will discuss it all. But looking at the paranormal through the filter of religion clouds the lens. Right? Here we are on YouTube. And YouTube is a wondrous place. It is a marvelous place where schmucks like me can do things like this for wonderful people like you. But here's what else it is. It is a place where every teenager and every 20-something with a video camera who gets a good editing program makes phony ghost videos. I would say a good 98% of everything I've ever seen on YouTube is spurious at best, is flat out fake at most. Right? And you can tell. There are little things that you can do to tell. Like, for instance, why is the camera on and pointed at a certain thing at a given time, and boom, there's a ghost? Right? If your camera is pointed in just a weird, just offhand direction, it's probably because it's just a lockdown shot that somebody added an overlay to make it look like a ghost, right? It's full of just people pulling stuff around by wires, people manipulating video, people manipulating sound. I have been doing this type of thing, video as well as paranormal investigation, for years and years and years, and I know a ton of tricks. But doesn't mean there isn't good shit out there. Doesn't mean there isn't real things to see. There are a lot of people out there doing some very, very, very good work. Some of them might be watching this right now. Some of them might be you. And I hope they're out there. I hope you're out there. Because here's what I'd love to do. I would like to have a back and forth conversation with all of you. Right? You have a video. You have pictures. You have whatever you have. I want to see it. But be ready, because I am going to critique it through the mind of science and through the eye of the visual artist. I know how to manipulate things, one way or the other. Things are there. They're out there. We want to know about them. You want to know about them, or you really wouldn't be watching this video. I want to know about them because I want to know about my experiences and I want to know about your experiences. So what I'm going to do is, right after I finish this video, you will see a card that has my Twitter and my Facebook. And you can please contact me through either of those, or you can leave a comment down below. Always welcome. Like, subscribe, get involved. I want to know what you think. Right? Point out videos you'd like me to critique. Point out videos or photographs that you want me to debunk. Tell me your stories. We'll talk them through. I want to find answers. It's what I've been doing for years. This is a good way to do it. This is a good way to go about it, because now we have a forum in which we can discuss these things. You're welcome to come here into the sanctum anytime and just contact me and let me know, and we will get to the bottom of things. Next week on Orbs Are Bullshit, I'll pick a case and we will go over that case from beginning to end. We'll go over all the fine points, all the reasoning, and all the evidence, and we will try and figure out fact from fiction. This is how it's going to work. And we're going to use the ground rules that I laid out here, and we're going to discuss different things as we go along. Really, I'd love suggestions from you. I'd love comments from you. Let's make this your show as much as mine. That's it for this week. I'm Chris Kelvin saying see you next week on Orbs Are Bullshit from the Articulate Beast.